To say the zone. Okay, Dwomoh, you're welcome to the zone.
Oh, thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
And the last time you were here, you were prepping for your show titled
Architect Without a Plan.
Architect Without a Plan. How did that go?
We had a good run.
You had a good
Kumasi
run.
and Accra, yeah.
Kumasi and Accra, that's really good. So let's talk about, in general, how comedy is doing in Ghana. I know that you've had a lot of different phases. You had the phase where you were very unpopular. Comedy in general was very unpopular, especially when it comes to stand-up comedy, was very unpopular. A lot of people critiqued you so much. And then you also had a phase or an era where a lot of people have taken you in. You have been welcomed. We see the good things you're doing. We appreciate it. And then once people familiarize with you and they know, okay, this is you, this is what you do, one of two things might happen. You become stagnant. You could become stagnant, or you could actually fly. And I don't know, what the face is right now for comedy in general, but where would you say you are? Not you as Dwomoh, comedy. Generically. Where would you say you are?
We are high and we are flying.
Oh, you're high and you're flying. Okay. Yeah. We're grateful to God for that.
Because of the support you're giving us, this is my second time here. Now the media support is one, and then the masses, the people support us. And then, for instance, now we have shows on television, a GH1 showing us Much Love. Because Obi and Pons and Alex Z,
right.
They have the Half Serious show. So I think the talent has always been there.
Okay.
It's just I think they support your own agenda.
Okay.
That when your kid is begins to walk and you clap, they want to take more steps.
Right.
But when you're not clapping, you act like it's normal. That's the baby's first step.
Yeah.
And you act like, oh, I've seen other babies do this. What is this? The kid doesn't see anything, then they just sit down.
Yeah.
You get it. So I think that we've always had a talent. It's not that the support is more massive than it used to be.
Okay.
And then the people who preceded us, like DKB, Foster Romanos, James Brown, Obrempong, they carved the way, they worked so that we could run today.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And also, I think, for those of us on the other side of the table, we've always seen that there's, a lot of unity when it comes to the comedians in Ghana. But then again, there are always conversations about, no, it's not what you think it is, or it's not the way it looks, or whatever. And, there are little pockets of groups that kind of ride for each other, and it feels like people don't cross over to another group to do stuff like that. Is that what it's like? What is the actual story?
The truth is we have unity.
Okay.
But what the elders say, when you look at the forest, you might think it's one mass. But when you're closer, you find the trees are individual.
Right.
Yeah, we are creatives and artists. So we have artistic differences. And we have people who we are more similar to, or people who have more creative similarities with us. And naturally, we are people we vibe with more.
Okay.
So in every group, there are sects. Like if you come to in the world, we have continents.
Right.
When you come to Africa, we even have West Africa.
Right.
That we vibe more.
Right.
When you come to West Africa, I feel like there are countries.
Right.
When you go to the country, they say Ghana, there are tribes.
Right.
So whichever way you feel me,
I feel
it's
you.
not a bad thing that there are sects within groups.
Okay.
But then the unhealthy thing is if one sect is fighting against the other, then that is unhealthy. But then we vibe. Like when I have a show, I had a contract. I was working with Africa No Filter in Nairobi.
Okay. And
some of the comedians helped me write the content they asked me to write.
Oh, nice.
That's unity.
And that's unity.
Some people have bad blood, but I'd rather talk about the positive side.
True. It's always good to talk about the positivity.
But bad blood kakra.
Oh, of course. As humans, humans, it goes without saying. And also you mentioned the comedians that have come ahead of you. You mentioned James Brown and DKB and,
David Oscar,
all of the big men in the industry.
Our bosses.
Your bosses. Are they actively contributing to the industry? How should I call it? It's an industry, no?
Yes, an industry. Comedy industry.
Comedy industry. How would you say, or are they actively contributing to the industry now, like as it stands now? Or are they, taking the back seat, just watching things?
First of all, they mentored us,
Right.
and they still do.
Okay.
I recently made a skit about Cat Williams' viral video. I don't know if you are privy to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I made my version of it where I was satirically accusing the Ghanaian comedians, like comedically, of being Illuminati.
Right.
And then I showed it to DKB first before it came out.
Okay.
DKB is like, that's a spoof. You have to wear the same shirt. You have to look like Katula. I'm like, I'm making my own Ghanaian version of. No. The first rule of a spoof is to make sure you wear the same thing, look like Katula. So like they mentor us sometimes. Right. So that's one of the things they do actively. Maybe if you have something challenge, you can run it by them. Or I want to create something like this. And then the second thing they do is they plug us.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a gig that passes through them, and then the DKB will call me, Dwomoh, Sohoba, some gig bill. Are you free on this day?
Yeah.
I don't know whether the money is too small for them or something, or maybe what they want, the kind of performer they want, is it suits you more. So they are kind of in the background, but then they'll be plugging us. Sometimes they connect us to sponsorship. Sometimes if you want sponsored, maybe you can call Foster Romano that I saw these people on your show. Can you link me, or we just give you the contact, or when you go say this, you get the sponsorship. So these are some of the things they do.
Okay, that's really, really good. That's really, really good. So it means that you're thriving.
It's better, way better than it used to be.
It's way better than it used to be. Now let's talk about what do we do from here, because I see that now almost every individual comedian has a show or a couple of shows in a year. Now I'm very familiar with all the different comedians and all the shows they have, and from what's the lady's name?
Jacinta.
From Jacinta.
If you're Barcelona.
Oh my goodness. Why am I not getting the Lexi, Obiam Ponsa, yourself, PJ,
Papayao, Jerry,
I know
MJ, Waris.
I know all the shows that are to come this year. We're still pretty new in the year. So let's do some projections. Between now and December, for you, how many shows are you looking at doing? Your first one comes out this weekend.
This is not my first show for the year. My performances.
No, this is not your first show for the year.
Yours.
Yes. This is yours, right?
This is mine.
And is this your first one for the year?
Not my first performance, but my first show for the year.
Yeah, your first show. Not your first performance.
Oh, okay. My first show.
Yes. This is your first show.
Yeah.
Okay. So after this first show of Ebenezer Dwomoh, how many other shows do we see till the end of the year?
Probably two more.
And these things, are they planned or do they just happen? Does something happen, or does an opportunity present itself and you feel like, okay, this is a good time to do a show? Or is it planned like beginning of the year? I know my first show is in February, the second one is in July, the last one is in November. Like, is it already set?
Yes, it's planned, it's structured.
Okay.
I want to do August, God willing. I want to do it on Kane University campus where the students are around.
Okay.
So I'm looking at August around the middle of the semester.
Okay.
So that I can get the students.
You're going to do it on campus?
On campus.
Okay. Yeah. That's great.
So one of the reasons why I do shows on campus is in Kumasi we don't have national theatre. We don't have a regional theatre.
Right.
So yeah. So the biggest auditorium is on Kane University campus.
Okay.
CCB auditorium.
Okay.
So that I'm able to get the students, and then it's very accessible for the public.
Okay.
So they can come and use it.
They can come and use it.
So I have to make sure the students are around to also tap into the student population.
Okay.
So that's how we structure it.
Okay.
And then in Kumasi, all the comedians come together to do a yearly Christmas show.
Okay.
I'm part of the organizers.
Right.
Been running for 4 years now.
Okay.
So then we have that in Christmas. So we have to open them a little.
Okay.
If they're too close, Ghanaians will get tired.
Yes.
So
you need to give it a little space.
Structured. And then we give room for Accra comedians to come and do their show. We are like, from April to like June is free.
Yeah.
You guys come and do your thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it is. And then we have a Valentine show too in Kumasi.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we
What does Valentine mean to you, Dwomoh?
It's do you know the best thing about Valentine to me?
Tell me.
It's my dad's birthday.
Oh, he's a 14th February.
Yeah, so I have the best excuse not to give any girl attention.
Okay. So what's his name?
My dad is Mr. Yawensia.
No, as in, is he a Valentine? Like, what's his name? Because usually the 14 people, they're called Valentina.
That's Papa time and that's animal by.
Oh,
that be my father. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. So he's just
he's an old man. He's just existing.
Okay.
But I use him to distract my exes. Like,
oh, it's my father's birthday.
it's my father. I need to go and see
I
the
need to
man.
go and see the man.
He hasn't seen me the whole year.
You
Please
know.
don't do this to me. This
So-
is my dad. This is the man who raised me.
I know. So
why
it
are you
means
doing this to me?
You don't do much on Valentine's Day.
Depends on the person I'm with.
Well, you're with a different person every year.
Oh no, not every year.
But the way you say,
Papa, Natalia,
the way you say it,
I
it
take God
depends.
very una.
No, but the way you say it depends on the person I'm with. It feels like
I haven't been
okay,
with one person all my life. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay, interesting,
yes, yeah.
interesting.
A few.
Okay, a few.
I can count on my finger. Yeah.
All right. Now you mentioned early on something about GRA. What's that situation about? Tell me more.
When I did my show, I had about 300 and something people who attended. It rained. Yeah,
Okay.
So I didn't get the numbers I was expecting. This is after that I planned in Kumasi in October. And then GRA comes, they tax us, right? As a good citizen, I need to pay tax. I'm good. But then, first of all, my issue is they don't tax us on the revenue. They tax us on ticket sales.
Right.
So let's do some small math here.
Okay.
Let's say I'm using very simple mathematical figures.
Okay.
I'll be quick with it.
Okay.
It's different. Say I do a show. I'm expecting 100 people, and then I use 8,000 cities, and I'm charging 100 cities. So 100 people times the 100 cities will be 10,000. So I'm making a profit of 2,000 cities.
Right.
GRA will take a tax of 21% on my ticket sales.
Right.
So how much would GRA take from me? 2,100 cities.
Which is more than
my profit.
Your profit.
So I don't understand. And then they sometimes too, if I have 100 people in the auditorium, not 100 people paid.
Right.
Some people, like the media people, the people who help, their families and friends.
The freebies.
If I have 100 people in the auditorium, about 40% are the freebies.
True.
That people we just invite, that we want them to see us perform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then GRA doesn't care.
Once they do the head count, they know that.
But also I have to pay for the venue, I have to pay for light, I have to pay for sound, video, photography, backdrop, comedians that I fly from Accra, their accommodation, the ushers, my team. I'm paying for so many things. So at the end of the day...
So what would you rather... How would you rather this be done?
I think that, first of all, they should charge us on... we should pay tax on EMFASO. No?
Okay.
I hope it makes sense.
Okay.
I shouldn't... If I'm buying this thing for 100 cedis, I'm going to sell it for 120 cedis. I shouldn't pay a tax on the 120 cedis.
You should pay a tax on the 20 cedis, which is your profit.
That is my profit. Otherwise, I can't make profit. And two, comedy is a relatively, in Ghana, it's a growing industry. We cannot compare ourselves with the music industry. And
you think they also have the same woes as you do?
But it's more structured. It's more organized. It's older. They have more legends. Okay. They have a more organized industry like music. I don't know if you go there.
I get what you're saying.
So when you travel outside, like when we have startups, when tech industries were coming, the government would give them tax incentives. Like, the normal industries are paying 21%. You guys are new, pay 15 or pay 10. Why? Because we want it to stand.
Yeah.
When it's well versed in the system, then we tax you like the other people, so that they help us. And three, the government should put in measures like maybe build more auditoriums for creatives. So we have an entertainment center. We have a 500 capacity auditorium, 300,000, 2,000.
Yeah.
So that the government, instead of paying maybe 8,000 for the venue, this is a comedy show, pay 5,000.
Right.
A part of my tax is already going into it. And my last thing I want to say is, for the show, when I do a billboard, I've paid tax. There's VAT on the billboard.
Yeah.
When I do promo on radio, there's VAT. When I print, there's VAT. I pay like 7 cedis a day in Kumasi KMA to post my banners and all that. And I pay tax every time I'm sending Momo for payment. I'm taxed. Only for you to come to the venue and take 21%. My last show, I was forced to pay 6,500.
Oh no.
And I made a loss of 18,000.
Oh no, that must have.
Comedian who is heartbroken after doing a show.
I can imagine.
You make everyone laugh, and then you go to GRA and cry.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's sad.
So, I mean, I think this is definitely a conversation that we should have some more.
Yes, that's what I'm bringing.
Yes, we should definitely have it some more. So, let's talk about Saturday. What is happening on Saturday?
On Saturday, we'll be expecting the best of comedy because I'm not doing it alone. I have my seniors coming to back me. There's Jacinta, there's Obi and Ponsa, there's Foster Romanus, and then there's Okoko Bioko. He's a Nigerian guy.
Okay.
They're all these guys are very funny. And the comedy is very professional and elite,
Okay.
Happening at MJ Grand Hotel, East Legon.
Okay.
The security is very tight. The place is very nice and comfortable in their banquet hall. And then just want Ghanaians to come and support. They will love it. We'll start early and we'll close early.
Okay. That's great. So what is this one called?
It's called Funny Texture.
Funny
Texture.
Funny texture.
Yeah.
Like architecture.
Yeah, okay. Funny texture.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I like how you always select based on your profession.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So for the early half of my career, I would hide that I'm an architect.
Right.
But I used to feel like it's a show off.
Oh, okay.
You go to stage, you talk about being like anti-den. Oh, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
And then, so I wouldn't even make jokes about it. And then Obi and Ponsa told me that, people know I'm a doctor and they like it. They love it. They don't want to hear me make doctor jokes. So if you don't mind, do architect jokes. I was like, I did one and Ghanaians loved it. They were like, can you give us more?
Yeah.
So I created a whole show around it, Architects Without a Plan. And then this is a spin-off of that one.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. That's why I'm inspired to make jokes around my profession.
Okay, that's great. Now let's make some jokes, shall we? I think the last time you were here, you were trying to. So listen, I have to hand it to you. You guys, what you do, you are doing the work of God, just so you know. Because for people to actually sit down and think about things that will make other people laugh, that actually makes other people laugh, is not a joke.
That irony is that comedy is not a joke.
It's not a joke. No, it's not. And so, I mean, I have to hand it to you. You're doing, something fantastic.
Oh, thank
you. I think the last time you were here, I was trying to get you to help me to know how to do it. I think in December, I had to host a show, and I reached out to Lexi, and I told him that I want an opener. Give me something that will, ease the people up and let them relax and let them, because an opener is always something that will let the audience either love you or not like you at all the entire time.
True. They are going to form their first perception about you.
Absolutely. So you always need an opener that's like, solid.
Let me give you one.
Okay, give me one.
You can greet them.
Okay.
How do you do?
Okay.
And then the response. Sometimes they know the response. People don't know how to respond to how do you do.
How do you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you might get half of the people saying I'm fine.
Right.
The other half might say how do you do.
Right.
There are sometimes the whole auditorium will say I'm fine or we are fine.
Yes.
And the other half will say you can respond with hey Saito for no dosu.
Yeah.
And then you teach them if they don't know. If they know, be like, hey, this is a DB audience. I know. You get it? Like they went to DB school, like international schools. Audience.
So they know that.
You follow it up with this joke that there was a time a teacher entered a class, and then the teacher asked, you can personalize it that was your school. Mm-hmm. That the teacher asked, how do you, the new English teacher in Saito asked, how do you do? Everyone was confused. The class professor stood up, Madam, you do me, I do you. And then everybody was off. And then
right.
I just gave you an opener.
Right. I know. So you guys are doing some great stuff. Let's do. When you tell your jokes, have you ever done it like off the cuff, like it just happens in the moment? You see something or somebody says something, or I don't know, you see an expression on somebody's face and instantly something comes to you that makes a joke? Or is this something that you're going to have to sit down and, properly write, maybe based on experiences or maybe how your day went or something? How does it, for you, how does it work?
It depends on the event. If I'm paid like 10,000 to go and perform, I'm not going to I need to go prepared.
Okay.
Because I have to give them their money's worth. But in comedy clubs, that's where we try our jokes. So we have something we call crowd work. Crowd work is when you relax and you do something in the crowd. You don't have any material.
Right.
Our jokes are called materials. So you are doing crowd work. You look at someone's awake in the audience. There's a joke about it. You can tell they are going through a heartbreak from their awake. You can see that the frontal is going through a lot. So you can't let it go. It's called improv.
Right.
It's improvised.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned.
Okay.
Then you ask the guy she's next to, are you with her?
Yeah, and I mean, isn't that how you get into trouble? Because it feels like for some people they will take it as an attack. Like,
the professional, you have to be nice about it.
Okay.
It depends on the comedian's style.
Okay.
But most comedians will be nice and professional about it.
Okay.
When you see their heads, you have a nice way of apologizing or give them a compliment to early degenerates
to balance it out.
To balance it out and
Okay.
let them understand it's just a joke, it's not personal.
Okay.
And then something. So that's improv. It's mostly done in comedy clubs.
Okay.
Or sometimes when the person is a celebrity, it's easier.
Right.
You are on, like there's a national theater and then you see Dwomoh. And then everyone knows Dwomoh. It's part of the setup.
Right.
Joke has setup and punchline. So knowing the person, even if at the back end you cannot see the person. Let's say I'm doing a joke about someone's wig, but you are at the back, you cannot see the wig to understand the humor.
Right.
But if I'm picking on Dwomoh,
you know him.
Dwomoh, I ask you how far with the V8.
Yeah.
You get it. Everybody knows the V8 story,
True.
so then I can start picking it from there.
Right.
So that is crowd work. But then if you go to a place you are not very familiar with them, it's better you do your material and go.
And not find any trouble for yourself.
You don't even know how they are. Some people, they are not chill at all. So you just do your jokes.
Right.
So it depends on the show.
Oh, so let me ask you this. Have you ever, walked from backstage to see a crowd and you can tell from, the way they are seated, the look on their faces that this is definitely not going to be an easy crowd. And it immediately maybe informs you to change something that you were originally coming with.
It's perfect. It happened to me at the National Theatre.
Right.
Sometimes, like, a comedian precedes you. One comedian goes before you. And the comedian is doing their best material. Comedians, we know each other's jokes.
Right.
Because we perform together a lot. So when they are saying the joke, I know this joke. This is one of this person's best jokes. The audience are looking at him like, come again and say what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this joke is fire. They are not laughing. No,
Right.
Jesus. They will just take a pen and start cancelling your jokes. Hey, joke number one, yeah, fire.
Yeah.
Then you start restructuring your stuff, or you have to go harder. I have to go harder on the jokes, put in more expressions, be more animated on stage or something.
Right.
Because the audience are tight.
They're
It
tight.
happens.
Interesting. And would you have you ever had the experience where you have felt like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this today again? In the middle of a show, like you said, somebody's gone maybe before you, or two people have gone before you, it's your turn to go, but Charlie, the way the thing is going, I don't think I can do it. Like, is that something that happens? Has that ever happened to, maybe even if not to you, have you witnessed something like that?
Okay, I blacked out on stage before. It happens. It's part of comedy.
Okay.
Or even the best
Everything is
comedians.
gone.
Everything is gone.
Blank. Oh my God. And you were on stage, in front of the audience?
In front of the audience.
Oof.
Even sometimes they are nice. They are cheering you up. They are nice, so they haven't done anything wrong. It's a I don't know. It just happens. Like, you're blank. You are trying to put the words together. Emma.
So what do you do in that instance?
It's an experience. Like, now you need to do the crowd work I talked about. You need to start making jokes about whoever came on stage before you, maybe the MC or whatever topic they were discussing before you came.
So you need to think on your feet. Because then you have limited time.
Yes.
So you need to
so
quickly.
If you're lucky, somewhere you get your first idea comes back to you that, I wanted to talk about this, and then you pick it from there. Sometimes it's just not. It's occupational hazard, Asamoah is one of the best players Ghana has ever had.
Yeah.
But one day he misses a penalty, and everyone remembers him for the penalty. How about his earliest World Cup goal against Czech Republic? No one cares.
Yeah.
So they do the same thing to comedians. The day I have a bad day, this guy is not funny.
He's not funny.
What about the day I had a standing ovation?
Yeah.
You get it? So
Yeah.
you terminate. I understand that today was one of those days. Then you end it early. Like, you thank them, and then if you're lucky, you end on a good joke.
Yeah.
Believe when the applause is loudest.
Yeah.
You get them laughing one, be like, I'm out, you
Yeah.
guys. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that's it.
That's really cool.
Hazards, yeah.
Really cool. Now, if there are ever any, because these days I see that all the comedians are equally, like, they're professionals and they have other professions.
Yeah.
So these days you can never really tell. People may be doing their stuff already, but they may want to make some time to do some comedy. For anyone who's ever considered it or is considering it at the moment, what kind of advice would you give them?
First of all, never stop writing. There are comedians who blow and they only have 2 jokes. And everywhere they go, they have to repeat those jokes. Just a matter of time until people get tired. Because there are some people who really love comedy. They listen to you here, then they follow you, listen to you. Every day, this guy is saying the same. So that you can even get the joke before you start. So keep writing. The day you start becoming popular, you already have a lot of good materials there. And to get a profession. Until you can solely rely on comedy. Ghana is not like some of those countries.
Right.
Comedians are paid like $200 per performance in a comedy club. What about Ghana? That is some Abanjuma and full payment, like $200. It's equivalent to about
like $2.5. Give or take.
Yeah, that is just for one night in the comedy club. So if you have 5 shows,
4 months.
But that's just one day. So over there, comedians, they're able to live on it and to even big gigs and buy and some acting any skits any online streaming buy. But in Ghana we don't really have the structured system yet.
But a lot of comedians are doing skits now.
It takes a while before you have enough followers, before you can even monetize.
Right.
Before you even understand the concept of skits, before you can do it professionally, So it's good to get a backup.
Right.
Otherwise, even your family will give you pressure that like those.
So tell me something. For the comedians that are doing skits and the stand-up comedians and all the other different types of comedians, which of them would you say, you're in the industry, which of them would you say has it easiest? Like, we dear Charlie, simple thing. It's not as difficult,
Kali J has a quote. Kali J has something he says on Twitter all the time. He say, if it be easy, do it.
I know, right?
Maybe skit makers, they have an advantage. The advantage is that it's not live. It's like live band and recording. I like to make musical analogies because people don't really understand stand-up comedy in this country yet. They watch it, but they don't really understand the science and the technicalities behind it yet. So I like to make comparisons. So stand-up, I cannot do cut. When you're doing skits, you can say cut. Have you acted?
No, I haven't.
You haven't.
I haven't.
But
let me tell you, because I do live TV.
Oh, okay.
And I know recorded TV as well.
Exactly.
Because when you're live, you're live.
It's
Everything
perfect.
is just going.
You have to get it right.
Yes.
That's
when you make a
stand-up.
mistake, it's gone.
It's gone.
But when you're recording, you can make all the mistakes and all of them will be deleted, and you have like a perfect.
You put the stress on the editor.
Yes.
Please,
Then you have like a perfect piece,
Exactly.
But when you're doing live, it's just like all your mistakes will just.
So stand-up is live. You have to get it right. You have to be funny. But skits, you can. It is not really. Let me take it again. You can do like 17 times and you pick the best and you put it out. But then skit is also not easy because you have to keep creating it. Maybe every week you need new content.
Yes.
Stand-up is so periodical. It's seasonal.
Yeah, you can take all the time to write your content. So everybody,
each and their. But skits go further because of social media.
Right.
Stand-up, I perform to 500 people. I'm open if I'm not lucky enough to get a good video of myself to post,
I think one of the things that maybe for a lot of stand-up comedians should try to invest in is a good production.
Hence the need for funny texture. I'm investing a lot. Into
because
the production.
you have some great stuff happening, and when you're done, that's it.
Yeah.
You don't. It's gone.
That's one of our challenges.
Yeah.
So now I'm like Obi did a show in January, and he invested a lot into the production. He didn't worry himself to do at National Theatre. The focus was on the production. That's what I'm doing for Funny Texture.
Okay.
My focus is on getting a good video. I recently put an 1-hour performance on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Ebenezer, you can check it out.
I will.
The production is impeccable.
Okay.
It's like
Go you.
It's like Netflix standard.
Okay.
I want you to check it out.
I will. I totally will.
I'm not fooling. I did it 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then the full video is out. The quality, you for a second you think you're on Netflix.
Eish.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
Yeah, not at all.
Okay, great. Now for people who you've given them advice, if they're looking to get into the comedy industry and all of that. For people who want to follow you, reach out to you, find a way to connect with you, especially with regards to Saturday's show, how will they do that?
My social media is Ebenezer Dwomoh
Okay.
_ It used to be something else, and Foster Roman said I should change it.
What's
Just
that?
last week. It used to be Dwomoh 2008.
Why though? What's the 2008?
I think it's funny.
Really?
Do you remember when you were creating a Yahoo account?
I know.
And someone has taken your name.
I know.
So
They give you options.
they give you some weird numbers,
Yeah,
42.
yes, yes.
So in 2008, but
Yeah.
the 2008 is 20th August. I just
Yeah.
added my date of birth.
Yeah.
I'm 20th August.
My former boss, his email was, I can't say his name, but his email was his name plus Y2K.
Yeah, 2000.
And every time he sends you a mail and you see that Y2K at the end, oh my goodness. It's so funny. Like every time
because I'm a comedian.
I feel like, but why?
Why Y2K?
Of all the things that could be your email address,
I know, right?
why that?
So, people ask, why 2008? What happened? DKB said I should say that's the year I lost my virginity. I said, DKB, please.
How old were you in
I said,
2008?
DKB, I was in class, like JHS 2.
In 2008?
I was like 14 or
Okay.
15, so I couldn't have lost my virginity, I beg.
Interesting.
So, and then Foster said I should change it.
Okay.
He thinks my handle should correspond with my name, my stage name. And I'm like the only comedian who doesn't have a stage name.
Okay.
I'm like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart.
Okay.
That's not a nickname.
Okay.
Like John Mulaney is John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle's name is Dave Chappelle. So why can't I be Ebenezer Dwomoh?
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, they say get a stage name. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, the world is my stage,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it. Not that I have anything against people who have stage names.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So,
Ebenezer
Dwomoh
Dwomoh
_ One guy has taken Ebenezer Dwomoh. I don't know who he is.
Oh, really? There is one?
There's one. That
Ebenezer.
is why I had to go with the Dwomoh 2008.
Oh,
There's one
right.
Ebenezer Dwomoh.
Have you reached out to him?
No.
Do you know who he is?
No. When I do it, they say it's taken. When I type Ebenezer Dwomoh, they say it's taken.
It's taken. But
So-
why don't you reach out to whoever that person is and say, oh, hey, are you aware that I'm the original? Like, who are you exactly?
No, I
Like,
think I should be more apologetic.
no, like how?
I mean, they already have it, so I have to go and beg. I beg. I go get the handle. I didn't take God beg you like something. Yeah.
Or you can, maybe he has another name. But seeing as he's not using it professionally, if he has another name like Yao or something, you can tell him use Yao.
Yeah.
Use Yao Dwomoh, use something. Because I don't even think it means anything to him.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you are using it professionally, then maybe you can just make an appeal.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just assume. I thought it was like Yahoo. I just assume it's taken. Then I added.
No. You should reach out.
I
to
will
him.
reach out. I'll actually reach out.
I've done that before.
Oh, okay.
I
There's a
think.
Natalia.
Oh yeah, I think I was. I was trying to do something, and there was somebody who had the same name as me.
Oh, okay.
Not just even had Nanama in the middle. And I reached out to them and I said, "Oh, hey, you and me, we have the same name. How's
okay.
that?" And then we
And I
started a
think, They will
conversation.
appreciate it that you were nice enough to.
Yeah.
approach them.
We
You figured it out.
we started a conversation, and they decided that they were just going to use Nanama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The person was
And
nice.
Yeah. And
Then I'll reach out.
yeah, because I mean, they won't use it for anything. And even this person, when I sent that message to them, it took them another 3 weeks or a month
Wow,
before they saw it.
responded. That's how inactive they are.
Exactly. So really, they don't need it for anything.
Oh,
so
okay. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'll reach out.
yeah, you should.
My brother from
Your
another-
brother
So mine for now is Ebenezer Dwomoh _ Yeah. For
Okay.
all social media platforms. I like
And
to
it-
have the same across.
It should have your photo as well
Yeah,
as
yeah,
like
yeah.
if I type it, I should see your photo.
Yeah, that's
And not
show that
some
it's
that
me.
is you, because otherwise then you have people giving the other person numbers.
Yeah. That's one of the
There's always a
first
possi-
there's
there's
that
always a
people might think,
possibility.
yeah.
It's always a
The other guy
possibility.
is the main one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming, Ebenezer Dwomoh. We cannot
I enjoy
wait.
conversations with you. It doesn't feel like an interview. It's a conversation,
Really?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I have people say that to me all the time. Even when my guests come on my other show, they're like, oh, this felt so easy. Like,
Yeah,
you
just
know.
like another conversation of the cameras.
Yeah, it's just, oh, wow, this is so easy. I thought it was going to be such a big deal. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
We're just vibing.
And your line of questions, I like them.
Okay. Yeah, we're just vibing. It's just, so here's the thing. Big shouts going out to my former boss. He'll tell you, his name is Kojo Mensah. He'll tell you that you would usually talk to someone not as a presenter. Have the questions, or even, I don't know, all of the questions I've asked you, I know the answers to them. Okay. Natalia, I know the answers to them. But the questions are not for me. It's for my listeners. It's for my listeners to know what they need to know.
Sure.
So you talk to your guests like you just grabbed a regular person from the street and told them to ask this person questions.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So usually it's like very easy and simple. It's like, what does the ordinary Joe want to know?
You're asking me about my last show, Actor Without a Plan. I see you're not part of the
I did.
I'm not fooling 2 years ago. You were literally part of the people who arranged the place.
I know.
But then for the sake of the interview,
exactly. So you
would
just like, I just picked up a random person and said, hey, ask this man questions. So you just always have to. And I never have a plan, or I don't put questions down for interviews.
Oh, okay.
Once I sit with you, I think like the ordinary person.
Obinum's wife will say, if you hot dalet.
Okay, news is coming up from the Komla Dwomoh newsroom. This is where we draw the curtain. Thank you so much. MG Grand, Saturday, time?
6:56.
We cannot wait, and I look forward to seeing the production that will come from this one.
You love it.
I'm sure it
will
be.
I'm going to upload it as soon as I get it.
I'm sure it will be fantastic. Thank you so much. Big shouts going out to my producer Patrick, also to Stephen and to Joey. Big shouts going out to MJ.